Dozens of Christian Navy SEALs file a lawsuit against Biden's mandate as unvaccinated troops are threatened by the Pentagon. Joining me now, Jim Hansen, president of Security Studies Group, who served in the U.S. Army Special Forces, and Dakota Meyer Medal of Honor recipient. We also have Jeremy Hunt, West Point grad. Do we have Jeremy? We do not. Hopefully we'll get him soon. Good morning to you both and happy Veterans Day.
Thanks, Carly.
Good morning.
All right, so Dakota, how do you feel about this? Some Navy SEALs say that they have had their religious exemptions denied, and if they don't get vaccinated, then they'll get a pay cut or a demotion or be punished in some way. How do you feel about that?
I mean, look, I think there's two sides to it, right? I mean, look, first off, I think it's not even right for them to threaten to kick them out for the fact that they're not getting the vaccine, or for them to look at them and say that, hey, you know, you're going to get out for an other than honorable discharge. This is something that came up, this mandate came up after they came in. Look, if the religious exemption is out there, then they should get the religious exemption. If the military doesn't want to accept that, they should let this service member transition out at the end of this and go on about their way if this is how the military wants to hold this.
Yeah, and you know, Jim, there's a group of like 35 Navy SEALs who are suing the Department of Defense because of this, and we see that we do have Jeremy Hunt now. Good morning and happy Veterans Day to you. We'll get to you in a second. But Jim, the Department of Defense is saying that you know, military members need to be vaccinated. They have to get vaccinated for their own personal safety, and it's maybe even more important for them to be healthy and not spread the virus as opposed to other people who aren't in the military.
Yeah, but I think this is an example of them using the military, again, as a social engineering laboratory and as a medical experimentation laboratory. These are the healthiest people we have in our general population. And in addition, if you look at the amount of experience and institutional knowledge and training that went into bringing these people to their current level of expertise, throwing them out of the military right now is obscene. I mean, we've got a military that right now is still far too focused on woke issues. You know, they're having pride marches and pronoun parties as opposed to training the troops. I think they need to get their priorities straight and stick to war fighting and not worry about being the Bidens' lapdogs for their, you know, woke projects.
Yeah, and Jeremy, I was speaking to a veteran yesterday who was saying that there really are so few people, first of all, who join the military, and then to cut that number down to the elite level, it gets even smaller. So he was making the case that kicking people out of the military because they don't want to get vaccinated would be a national security threat. Would you go that far?
I mean, look, the bottom line is that first and foremost, and I hope the Biden administration understands this, is that America, religious freedom is one of the bedrock principles of our Constitution. Okay, and so when you have especially a group of Christians coming together saying, "Look, we want to get a religious exemption for this," and those types of requests are being ignored. And now we have a serious issue at play here. And they're putting the troops in an impossible position. They're saying either you will surrender to the Biden administration or you will pack up your stuff and quit serving the nation that you love. And that is just a horrible situation that the Biden administration has put our troops. And I do think that is the type of approach that the Biden administration is going to continue having in the United States military. That will be a national security issue because we have to make sure that the military remains a cohesive force. And as the guest before me said, that they are a war-fighting organization, and we don't see that anymore in the Biden administration, sadly.
Yeah. Dakota, what are service members who you speak to saying about this? Are they concerned about this?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, again, I think he said it right. You know, they're putting these people in an impossible position. And what we've seen the military do for time and time again is they've made religious exemptions for everybody else, right? Like they've made so many religious exemptions across the military. I don't see how this isn't one. Again, they are the healthiest people on earth. But again, this problem of why people are so worried about the vaccine was created by the Democrats too. So this entire problem was created by the left, and it is a crazy problem. It's insane. And again, they've made so many religious exemptions across the military. They've made a ton of social exemptions as well. So I don't see why that this couldn't be one as well.
Yeah, and Jim, if you look at the military vaccination rates, I mean, the Navy, 99.4% vaccinated, Marine Corps, 95%, Army, 94% vaccinated, Air Force, 97%. I mean, those rates are really high. So we're talking about a small fraction of people who feel uncomfortable for religious reasons or medical reasons for not being vaccinated. Is it reasonable to think that everybody is going to be on the same page on this?
Of course not. We're Americans. We're never on the same page things, and that's the whole point. And that's what these people signed up to ensure continues. And I think one thing that no longer gets talked about, what happened to herd immunity, the most common concept in dealing with vaccinated populations? You get to a certain percentage, and after that, it's no longer necessary to have 99.999% compliance. They're also ignoring natural immunity. So I think there are a lot of reasons why these people have valid claims that forcing them to take the vaccination is possibly unconstitutional. We'll have to see what the lawyers say, in the end about whether their religious exemptions are being improperly denied. Odds are they are. I think this is very political. But it's not even passing the common sense test, as you just showed. There are enough people vaccinated that the community we're talking about is safe. Now they need to just get back to training to defeat and deter our enemies and maybe wake up the commander-in-chief or get a new one so we've got somebody worthy of leading them.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to have all three of you on for two reasons. One, because of this very important topic, but also it's Veterans Day. So we want to thank you so much for your service to our country. We can't thank you enough for all you have done. Jeremy Hunt, Jim Hansen, and Dakota Meyer, true heroes. Thank you all.
Thank you.